to HCMI Connects. I'm Huizin from HCMI. The idea of e-learning is not new anymore since the onset of the pandemic. Organizations start to make e-learning so much more accessible, and employees are now expected to take charge of their own professional growth. While learning in person can be easier, as trainers may incorporate various activities to make the learning process fun and exciting, I recently learned that online learning can be equally fun too. Imagine learning by playing games or make work performance a friendly competition. Basically, gamify the learning and performance process and make it more engaging and motivating for the employees. So the trick is really, how can we design the learning and performance management process more thoughtfully to create more winners at our workplace? Our guest today knows exactly how to do that. Let's welcome our guest today, Puan Nurul Fatia, a learning experience designer and facilitator. Welcome, Nurul.
Hi, Hussein. Thank you so
Hi.
much for having me.
No problem. It's always good to see you. So let's dive right into it. So Nurul, what can you share with us about gamification at work?
Okay, so a lot of people think gamification and games are the same thing. It's actually not. Yeah, so gamification and game-based learning are two different concepts. However, as game-based learning, in people actually play games in classes, like for example, especially in team building. So you see this a lot in team building because people really do an activity and they really play. Or in some classes, they actually use Lego to play and then share about the content. So people are really playing. However, gamification is not playing games. So it's not like employees are playing games at work. Well, some company have snooker table, I've seen this, but that is not gamification. That is really playing games. So gamification is actually the use of game-like elements such as point scoring, rewards, and competitive platforms to boost employee engagement and to drive behavioral change. So instead of playing games, they do some form of engagement activity, for example, but they take or they use the game-like elements to make it more fun. So in games, we have point scoring. In games, we have a winner. In games, we get a rewards or sometimes merit. So those are the elements of games that is being used in this kind of engagement activity, I would say. Yeah.
Right. So it's really a very fine line between gamification and playing games, actually.
Yes.
So how do you think this gamification would actually motivate employees at their workplace?
Well, gamification, the concept of gamification itself will motivate people to change their behaviors or develop skills or drive innovation. For example, many years ago, when I was handling a learning department, and one of the problem that we had back then is people do not complete their orientation. Like I'm talking about new hires. They come in and they're supposed to complete like 3 months or 6 months of onboarding program, and onboarding means one, knowing about the organization. And the second part is really knowing about their work. So there's qualification process involved and it's really tedious. But I've seen my problem is a lot of people do not finish it properly, and I see that they will also they will be confirmed whether or not they finish the program. So I feel like this is a mismatch. Like people can be confirmed even before they show that they are competent. So that is where I sort of deploy a little bit of gamification. So there are some checkpoints in between that you can only proceed if you finish this part. For example, you will not get, for example, like 6 months, right? By right, they get confirmed. So we said, no, you will not get your confirmation, okay, unless you finish 100%, okay? And I also introduced a checkpoint like every 3 months that they will get some rewards if they finish it. So they know that, okay, if I don't finish, I don't get my reward. And if I don't finish, I will not get a confirmation. And confirmation may also tie to bonus. Like if they don't get themselves confirmed at certain point, they will not enjoy 100% bonus. So when some changes in that, we see that people are more diligent when they complete their qualification. So the benefit for us is people qualify on time, which means they can work independently at sites. So we don't have to get a senior to be with them and things like that. So productivity increased by itself. And in terms of employee engagement also, they feel happy, like, hey, I get a mark. And I usually change the price lah, otherwise boring, right? Every year got marked. So I have a different rewards and a different price every year, and people feel proud when they get it. Although it's a mark, it's actually written as I am qualified to do my job. So they feel like, whenever I drink, it reminds me that hey, I have completed certain thing, a certain milestone, and I'm qualified to do my work.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, who would you say is really benefiting from this whole gamification of your onboarding process then?
So for employees, they do have fun, right? And they get rewards. Like we had a different level of rewards, like training give marks, and then other department give something different, like KFC, like at the shop floor. We noticed that at the shop floor back then, people do not report when they see defects. And this is a behavior that we want to change, right? Defects is a problem. So they have a KFC's voucher and they have ice cream. So this is something that people like because KFC they can share with their family, and ice cream is something that they can take for free, after a hot day at work. So of course they benefit in that sense. But some people may say, so organization has to spend a lot, is it? Well, you spend a lot more if your employees are disengaged and leave the organization, right? Because hiring people is very expensive. So if you can make your people happy and they are happy to come to work and really complete their job properly as you want them to be, so it is the benefit comes back to you. Yeah. So people are happier, they stay, you don't have problem. You eliminate the retention problem. People are driving when they're working, they perform. When employees perform better, the organization also perform better. So it really benefits the organization if they really willing to strategize it properly and deploy it properly lah. Not just for the sake of doing. When you do it for the sake of doing, that's it lah. No, you won't get the same benefit as when you do it betul-betul or properly.
I like how you highlighted the point where organizations sometimes they ignore or they do not see the hidden cost that comes together with when we don't really engage our employees properly, if that actually happened, the cost that is incurred on hiring new hires or losing people or losing the wrong people at the wrong time, then that is the cost that really companies sometimes don't keep track of. Then something rather than spending this money on engaging these people. So we really need to see a way which one is will bring more benefit to both the employees as well as the employer.
Right.
So Nurul, if let's say today I want to start this gamification in my organization, be it for learning or performance management, what would be the advice from you to help us with the implementation then?
Okay, so there are a few steps that you can take, and this is not cast in stone. But it is important, yeah. So I will start with identifying the area where behavioral changes are needed. Okay, for example, people are not reporting defect, so I want them to report defect. Or I had this cute problem back then where people simply cross we have a very huge storage area and we have a lot of something that's moving inside that logistic area, and we cannot simply cross the pathway. So what happened is people cross the pathway without looking left and right. It's like when you want to cross the road, you have to see left and right? And because we feel that our warehouse is small, we do not need to do that. But no, we fail our audit because people don't see left and right. So we want to change behavior, right? We want people to stop, look left and right, and cross the road. So that is the behavior that we want to change. So first and foremost, we need to identify this. What exactly are the behavioral changes? Okay, so first is where is the behavioral changes are needed? And the second is the exact behaviors that need change. And then you choose a gamification strategy. Because remember, you don't do it for the sake of doing, I just want to give people KFC. Cannot. You need to be aware of you need to sort of have some strategy. And my advice for gamification strategy is, number one, it should be something that is easy to administer. Otherwise, you need to hire people just to manage this, So if you do not want to hire people or you do not want to embark on a huge application or something like that, then find something that is easy to administer, especially if you just want to start. Number two, make sure it is fun for the employees. Because if it's boring, nobody want to take it. Nobody wants to do it, right? And number three, it has to encourage changes in the identified behavior fast. It cannot be something that you launch today, 3 months later, then only people start doing. Cannot. It has to be fast because you want people to get it and you want to see people talk about, hey, I get KFC, or see their face on the wall or something like that. And people need to see that, hey, there's a change in behavior. Otherwise, management will say your whatever gamification you're doing fail. So we want to make sure that it is fast. After that, you need to identify what do you want to measure exactly. So you have to have the benchmark measures and the target measure. For example, defect. How many defect you want to record? Let's say now you see 1 defect per month. So you target lah, okay, I want 50 defects per month. Or even better, you want to see if you find defects, then the machine is run better kan. So today you see, okay, my machine efficiency is say 70%, but we target it should be 100% if we can know the defect much earlier. So you need to know your measure so you can say that, hey, we are successful in this. And then you need the gamification duration. Is it something that is long term or is it something that is short term? Like in my case where we want to change people behavior when crossing the pathway in the warehouse kan, it's something that is short term. We need to see changes in the next 3 months and consistent changes. So we give it a duration of in the next 3 months, this is what we're going to do. And then you need to communicate the idea worldwide, and then you need to implement it, and you need to enforce it. By enforce, I mean, if you use rewards and demerit system, then people need to see that some people get reward and some people are really kena punish lah. Something like that. Then only it is impactful. Otherwise, people will be like, meh, this is just another strategy. So really don't want to go into that.
Right. Interesting. And I like that. The key thing is always be able to measure the before and after of behavior change.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Nurul, for sharing your thoughts and insights on gamification at work with us today. Who knows that, we can actually really have fun at work by just simply gamifying some of the work elements at work, obviously. So if there's one tips that you can share with everybody, what would that be?
Tips. I will start with something small. Something small, so that people can feel that you are serious. And if you make mistake, then it's a small mistake, and then you can learn something fast, and then you can do something bigger. If you cannot do something small, then do a pilot. I just want to do a gamification pilot with one department, and learn from that process, and then improve, and then only do a worldwide. Yeah, so that will be a tips for a company who wants to start doing gamification at work. And if there's any area that they want to start first, I will start with rewards, because it's the fast way to get people buy in. And then after that, you can do something bigger like point scoring and something like that lah. And I feel also for sustainability, you should also have a software or application, as simple as Excel, but as comprehensive as an apps that really track this, because then people can see where are they, and the organization can also have a better tracking in this manner lah.
Very useful tips. Thanks, Nurul, again. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Feel free to reach out to us through our website or email if you want to have a conversation about learning or performance gamification. Till next time then. Thank you and take care.